in shaping the future of a continent. Now, as the next generation of leaders, innovators, and changemakers, it is very essential for young people to recognize the importance of investing in themselves in order to reach their full potential and contribute positively to their communities and, of course, the wider society. Now, in many parts of Africa, young people face numerous challenges, which includes limited access to quality education, economic opportunities, resources for personal development, and many more. And as a result of this, it is imperative for youth to take the initiative to invest in themselves, both personally and professionally, in order to overcome these barriers and succeed in their endeavors, regardless of how little the resources available to them are. Now, there's so many ways to invest in self, and oftentimes we think it's just financial, but it cuts across health, books, mentorship, and many more. So today, my guest will help us understand better how we can invest in ourselves and what it even means. So joining me today to have this conversation is SAGENEL, whose name is Nkechi Emmanuel Layode, certified counselor and therapist in Nigeria. Thank you, SAGENEL, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you join us as well. Now, SAGENEL, first, I would like to start off by asking, what exactly is self-investment?
Okay, so I like the way you already introduced it. It is beyond, say, finance. It has to do with first of all, self-investment starts with the belief in yourself. The person is not going to go through the process of investing in themselves if they do not believe in themselves, first of all. So self-investment is the belief in yourself that you are bankable and then you deserve that investment and the resources that you're going to be interacting with on the journey to where you are headed, knowing that the journey that the destination you are headed is also to contribute to the lives of other people. So we have self-investment, we can have it spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and the best, well, I don't want to say the best, the most basic form of self-investment starts with your spiritual self-investment and your mindset. Of course, health, I didn't even mention health. That is also important because it's a wholesome process. You can be investing in one aspect of your life and neglecting the other. It is going to boomerang. I mean, it will not be very good for that person. So I hope I've been able to do a basic introduction about what self-investment is about.
Oh,
Talk
very
about
well.
ways and other things as we go ahead.
Very well. I'm glad you mentioned ways because that would be my next question. So a lot of people understand that it's important to invest in self, but many people do not know how. So what are the ways that young people can invest in themselves?
Thank you very much. I really like that question because this is a conversation I've been having recently. The first way to start investing in yourself is by discovering yourself. In recent times, I've been teaching a series on self-design, understanding your self-design, understanding your personal design. In the past, it used to be that they would say, oh, if you don't read 100 books, 50 books, 30 books, you're not going to be worthy or worth it. But increasingly, people are seeing that people are not reading that amount of book and they are still, say, popular and are still achieving their goals. So what has happened or what has changed over time or what has always been that we are now discovering now is our self-design. A person who is an entertainer is going to need a different diet and a different form of investment in themselves from a person who is a therapist. It is what it is. From a person who is a medical doctor and from a person who is a caterer. They are going to need different degrees and different diets of personal development. So it starts with understanding your design. What is your self-design? What is your personal design? What is your life design? When you understand your life design, then you go forward knowing, okay, what are the kind of investments I need to make for my calling, for my passion, for my purpose, and then you start taking the step one at a time. Also, in addition with your design, which is the first installment, it also starts from knowing where you are currently in life. You've got to discuss what is your level of education, where are you headed? So self-design and also your destination as well. Where are you headed? Where do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Apart from your self-design, it's not enough to say, oh, my self-design is just, I'm a chef, I just want to cook and all that. That's great. But you may need to do things beyond cooking if you want to be on the global, if you have a global dream in the next 3 to 5 years. So your self-design and then your destination is going to determine the sort of resources and personal investment you'll be making on yourself.
All right, very quickly, Sagenel, I want to ask, what would you say are some common barriers that prevent young people in Africa from investing in themselves, both personally and professionally?
Fact is that they don't believe in themselves. So a person would tell you that they cannot read a 450-page book, but the person can do a movie marathon of over maybe 50 hours. So if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't believe that certain kind of development, your life is worth certain kind of development and investment, you are not going to get the best. You're not going to go ahead to make the discipline, the time, and of course the financial investment when necessary to invest in yourself, to get that investment in yourself, and of course get a better life. I must also say here that this investing in oneself is for you to have a better life, become a better person so that you can contribute better to your world. If we do not have people who are investing in themselves as priority, we are not going to have a better nation. Like I usually would say, the average of our nation is really the average of the minds that we have. It's not about the natural resources or all of those other resources that we talk about, but what is the average what's the average mindset that we have in our nation? And that cannot be achieved without improved personal development, which is why I'm so happy that we're talking about that. So yes, not believing in oneself is a great barrier. And the background of some people could also, this is number 2 now, the background of some people could also could also cap their mindset to not even knowing how to go about it. So I've interacted with quite a number of people on radio, and it's not like they don't want to believe in themselves. This is number 2 now. They want to believe in themselves, but they don't know how or why to believe in themselves. So some people do not even have the capacity and they do not have the mentoring on how to go about it. And the third one would be, we also have to go about it, and then maybe for some people it will be lack of resources to be able to go about the needed personal development.
Okay, Sagenel, thank you so much. I would really like to have asked many more questions about self-investment, but hopefully another time because we've run out of time. But thank you so much for joining us and helping us understand what even self-investment is. Thank you once again for joining.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, that's